Okay, so we're gonna start on our backs. Just take a moment to let your shoulder blades rest, let your palms face up towards the ceiling. Take a deep breath in through the nose and out through the nose. It's a 4-second inhale. Letting the rib cage expand, feeling the back body press down onto the mat. And a nice 5-second exhale. Continue that rhythm. 4-second inhale. 5, maybe even a 6-second exhale. Just drawing your attention in, noticing how you're feeling overall. And then we'll control that exhale a little bit more by sending the breath out through pursed lips. You'll notice the belly draws in naturally. The ribs start to lower down towards the hips. Inhale, breathe into the nose. Exhaling out through the mouth. And now adding our imprint and release to that. Your hands can rest on your hip bones, heels of your hands on your hip bones, fingertips towards your pubic bone. Your hip bones and your pubic bone are parallel to the ceiling. This is neutral. On your exhale through pursed lips, drop the tailbone down, press the low back down into your imprint. Your hip bones land lower than your pubic bone. Inhale, release back to neutral. Exhale, press the low back down to the floor. Inhaling into neutral. Exhaling to press the low back down to the floor. One more time, just like that. Next time you land into your imprint, stay there. Feel the brace of the belly. And then use a drop of the tailbone even more. Hands can land down by your side to pull the legs up. So you're maintaining that imprint, knees over hips. You'll drop your right foot down and your left foot down. Releasing into neutral, and then again, exhale, drop into imprint. Use that pressing down to lift the legs up. Drop your left foot down first, and then your right. Releasing into neutral, and then exhale into imprint to pull the legs off the floor. Right toes come down first, then left. Reset. Exhale to bring you back into imprint. That pressure, that power brings the legs up. Left leg comes down, and then right. Maintain your imprint. Bring the legs back up and over the hips. This time we're going to maintain imprint as both legs lower down. So drop the tailbone, press the low back down. Keep the legs at 90 degrees. Drop the toes down to the floor. Maintain your imprint, and then bring the legs back up one at a time. So it's an exhale to lower the legs down to the floor, maintaining imprint. We'll maintain that imprint all the way through as we bring the legs back up. Let's do that 2 more times. Imprinted position, lower the legs down to the floor. One leg comes up, then the other. One more time, really waking up the belly this morning. Lower the legs down. And then you can release into a neutral. Maybe you pull the knees into the chest for a moment just to kind of relax the belly and rock side to side. And then from there, heels can land back down to the floor. You're going to keep your hands on your hips. We're going to be in a neutral spine. It's an inhale to open up the knee, the right knee out to the side, keeping your hips parallel to the ceiling, and then lengthen out that leg in line with the glute. Internally rotate, so rotate your toes down to the floor and your knee to the midline, and drag your foot back in. Inhale, externally rotate. Exhale, internally rotate. So from the hip socket, we're warming up. One more time in this direction. Keeping your hips nice and stable. Then from here, same leg, switch the direction. Your big toe mound drags on, or big toe drags on the floor as you reach the leg out long. And then externally rotate and drag the heel back in line with your glute. So it's an inhale to internally rotate this time. And exhale to externally rotate and drag the heel back in. One more time. internally rotate, externally rotate and drag. Beautiful. Prop that foot back down or pop it back down, and then we'll switch sides. Hands stay on your hips. Inhale to open up, externally rotate, and then lengthen that leg out. It's an inhale to internally rotate and drag back in. I lied. Inhale, externally rotate. Exhale, internally rotate. One more in this direction. Noticing if one hip feels any different than the other. And then switch the direction. It's an inhale to internally rotate. It's an exhale to externally rotate. Two more in this direction. And one more. Good, good. Once your heel lands back in front of the glutes, drop your low back down into imprint. Press down to the heels to peel the hips and the back up and off the floor until just the shoulder blades are rooting. Stay for an inhale and then gradually melt your way back down to the floor. Drop the tailbone, press down to lift up. Stay for an inhale, keep the tailbone dropping and really exaggerate that so you feel the glutes fire up. And then start to melt the spine back down to the floor. One more time, just like that. Press down to lift up. Stay at the top and then inhale, lower your glutes down maybe an inch or two. And exhale, lift right back up. Because we basically break from the hip, lower down, and exhale, right back up. Three more, just the same. Lower and lift. Two more, lower and lift. One more, lower and lift, and start to melt the spine back down to the floor. Keep your hands by your side or move them there if they're not already. Lengthen the back of your neck. Look towards the tops of your knees. Shoulder blades come off the floor. Reach your fingertips towards your toes. Stay for an inhale. And exhale, slowly lower down. Inhale, lengthen the back of the neck. Exhale, ribs towards hips. Reach the fingertips towards the toes. Stay for an inhale. Exhale, lower down. Two more, just the same. Lengthen the back of the neck. Look towards the knees. Reach and hold. Exhale, lower. One last one. Lengthen and lift and hold. Hands land back behind the head. Make sure you can see your elbows and your peripherals. We're going to lower down an inch or two. Inhale, lower. Exhale, come back up. And then lower all the way down. So that's one. We're going to be adding one each time. Lengthen the back of your neck. Rib tip connection. This is your ab prep. You can see your elbows and your peripherals. Lower down an inch. Exhale, come back up. One more just like that. Inhale, lower. Exhale, come back up. Inhale, lower all the way down. Adding on to that, lengthen. Shoulder blades come off the floor, lift and hold. Rib tip connection. We're basically separating the ribs and the hips and then exhaling to come back up. So it's the abs that are working, lower back down, rather than cranking your neck forward with your hands. One more, inhale, exhale, and lower down. We're moving our way up to 5. Next comes 4. Lengthen the back of your neck, lift and hold. Lower down an inch. Exhale, lift. Inhale. Exhale. Inhale, lower. Exhale, lift. One more. Exhale, lift. And melt all the way down. We have one last one. Hopefully you're starting to feel that fatigue. Lift and hold. We're going for the big shebang. It's 5. Lower down. Exhale, lift. 4. Lower down. Exhale, lift. 3. Exhale. 2. Exhale. 1. Exhale. And lower all the way down. Pull the knees into the chest. Take a moment. Good, good, good. Then giving the abs a little break, working into the hips. So you could lengthen both legs out here, but your goal here is to maintain a neutral spine. So if you're here and that gives a big arch in the back and you've gone too far, I encourage a soft bend in the knee So you can kind of dig your heels in. And then your right leg is gonna reach up towards the ceiling. Same thing. If you end up with a flat low back, then you've gone too far. We're maintaining that neutral curve. So you want your thigh bone to be reaching up towards the ceiling, even if that means you have to bend the knee a little bit. It's an inhale to cross your midline and exhale to circle around. Inhale, cross the midline, exhale, circle. Let the thigh bone be heavy in the hip socket. We're waking up the hips. One more just like that. And we're trying to maintain stability so our hip bones stay parallel to the ceiling. Circle the leg out to the opposite direction, over to the right, and exhale, circle around. Inhale, open. Exhale, circle. Inhale, exhale, circle. One more. Exhale, circle. Bring that leg back down, maintaining neutral so hip bones and pubic bone parallel to the ceiling. You bend the knees as much as you need to make that happen. Left leg reaching up towards the sky. Send the leg towards across the midline, and exhale, circle around. Inhale, reach. Exhale, circle. Inhale. Exhale. Two more. Inhale and exhale. One more. Exhale, circle. And then switch the direction. Inhale, open. Exhale, circle. Inhale. Exhale. Inhale. Exhale. One more. And exhale. Bring that leg back down. Walk your heels slightly closer to your glutes. Moving into our imprint to peel the legs up and off the floor, knees over hips. Start to lengthen the back of your neck and reach your fingertips towards the front of your mat. It's going to be an inhale for 5. Pulse your arms for 5. And an exhale for 5. Moving into our 100s. Inhale, inhale, exhale. If you'd like to, you could inhale, lengthen. 4, 3, 2, 1. Exhale, come back in. 3, 2, 1. Inhale. Or you could keep your legs all the way out. 5, 4, 3, 2, 1. Inhale. Exhale. You're already halfway. Inhale, 4, 3, 2, 1. Exhale, 4, 3, 2, 1. Inhale. Exhale. Inhale. Exhale, 4, 3, 2, 1. 2 more rounds. 2, 3, 4. Exhale. Last one. 5, 4, 3, 2, 1. Wherever you are, hold for 3, for 2, for 1. Lower down, pull the knees into your chest, rock side to side. And then from there, we're gonna rock and roll up to a Navasana, seated on your glutes, chest reaching forward, legs are bent, and think about pulling the knees towards your chest. We hover and hold for 3, for 2, for 1. Cross your legs, sit up nice and tall. Take your hands back behind you and lengthen your spine. You're using this connection behind you for a little bit of leverage. And then once you have this proud chest, start to hinge from the hips, sending your chest towards your shins. And for some of you, this right here is enough. For others of you, you're going to continue to walk further and further towards the top of your mat, and maybe your hands even land in front, as long as you can maintain length in your spine. And you just breathe into whatever sensations you feel. For me, it's my outer glute of that front leg. But you might feel something somewhere else. Rise on up. Switch the cross of your legs so we can even out the stretch. But if you do feel anything in the knees, I would say separate your feet a little bit. Don't worry about staying so tight in your crisscross. Inhale, lengthen. And exhale, shift forward. Keeping the shoulder blades together, chest nice and proud. Beautiful. And then from there, lengthen your legs out in front of you. Take them about the width of your mat. Take your arms out into your peripherals. We're going to be doing our little exhale with the rotation. So it's exhale for 3, over to the right. Exhale, 3, 2, 1, back to center. Keep your hands in your peripherals. Move over to the left. Exhale. Inhale back to center. Each time you rotate, you're trying to get a little bit further, feeling those obliques start to fire up. Rotate to the right. 3, 2, 1, and to the left. 3, 2, 1. One more in each direction. 3, 2, 1. Over to the left. 3, 2, 1. And lengthen. Bring the legs back together in front of you. They don't have to squeeze together. About hip distance is fine. Flex your toes towards your shins. Reach your fingertips forward. Round through the spine. And then reach beyond your toes. Say hello to the hamstrings. And then from here, maintain this C curve. Roll away. So you're scooping the belly. You find this kind of hollow position through the belly. Reach as far back as you can, knowing you're coming right back up. And then roll right back. Maintaining that C curve, hip bones away from thigh bones. Reach forward and roll back. And so each time you might get further and further. Some of you might choose to take it all the way down to the floor, lowering the back down, rolling through the spine, reaching the arms up and overhead, maintaining that rib tip connection, and then taking the arms back to the front, looking towards the toes. Roll your way up, trying to keep your feet to the floor, trying not to use momentum. That's the tricky part. And then rolling away. Belly button to the spine, lower back to the floor before anything else. Reach the arms overhead. It's an exhale to reach the fingertips back towards the toes. Lengthen the back of the neck. Lift and reach. Let's do one more. We're gonna all meet in a seated position. So once you land back up to your long legs with your hips and your torso stacked, then that's where you will stay. Beautiful. Then you can bend the knees, bring the soles of the feet back down. We're gonna work on a little bit of rolling like a ball, but only for about 5 reps. So bring the feet off of the floor. Notice the distance between your thighs and your chest. We're gonna try to maintain that. You can even keep your hands on your legs to maintain that. Round to the spine. We're just gonna tap the bottom of the shoulder blades and then roll it back up. Inhale, tap the shoulder blades. Exhale, roll back up. 3 more. Inhale, tap. Exhale. You'll notice if you don't let your legs move, you'll feel your belly start to work. 1 more. Good. And now we are going to use momentum. So let this be a little bit more playful because we're going to use so much momentum that we land up and over onto our quadruped position. Hands underneath your shoulders, knees underneath your hips. Warming up the shoulder blades, you're going to let your chest drop down in between the arms. Shoulder blades draw together on your back. And then exhale, push the floor away. Shoulder blades spread apart on your back. Inhale. Exhale, push. So just noticing the gliding of the shoulder blades. It might not be super obvious to feel or be aware of, but just check in and see what you can feel. And if this is going quite well and you feel that kind of gliding, then you might add a circle. So chest drops down, chest pulls forward, so the shoulder blades glide down the back, then push the floor away and make your way back to center. Chest comes down, pull the chest forward, shoulder blades glide down the back, and push away and move all the way into that direction, easing our way into the shoulders. And switch the direction of your circle. So chest will come down, shoulder blades glide up the back because your chest moves towards your thighs and up and around. And eventually you'll actually feel that heat build up. And we'll take a little break. We'll come back to neutral. Rooting the right hand down into the floor, keeping this quadruped position. Open up your left arm up towards the ceiling. Exhale, reach the left arm over to the right side of your mat, letting your chest really rotate towards the right side of the mat. Inhale, open. Exhale, reach. Inhale, open. Exhale, reach. This time the left shoulder blade comes down to the floor. Really drag the knuckles of the left hand all the way over to the right and let your left cheek come down to the floor. Open up your chest. Maybe the right hand lands onto your low back. And you're using any sort of leverage you can find. So think about pushing the shoulder, left shoulder blade onto the floor. Think about moving the right shoulder back behind you and maybe gazing over the right shoulder. Breathing into any sort of sensation that you feel. And eventually pressing the right hand down to lift the left arm up. Oof. Bring that left hand down and switch sides. Root the left hand, open up to the right. Right arm comes down, threading through. Reach, reach, reach as far as you can. Inhale, open. Each time we're trying to reach through just a little bit further. Inhale, open. Exhale, thread through. Reach, reach, reach as far as you can before you drop that shoulder down. And then once you drop, really reach the knuckles as far over to the left as you can. Push the left hand into the floor. Open up the chest to the left side of your mat. Maybe root down and take your left hand behind you. Or maybe you use that left hand for a little bit of leverage to open up any bit more. Breathing behind the shoulder blade and into the back body, the ribs. Stay as long as feels good and interesting. When you're ready, you'll push the floor away to lift back up. And then take the hands back down to the floor. Moving through just a couple of cat and cows here, just to kind of reset. Inhaling, chest forward. Exhaling to drop the tailbone down, look towards the belly button, round the upper back and shoulders. Inhale, chest forward. Exhale, push the floor away. Letting it be as oozy-goozy and curious as you'd like. Feel free to move side to side in any direction that feels good. Eventually, you'll come back through the center. You're going to take that left foot over off to the left side of your mat and take your right foot back behind you. Press the sole of that right foot down and open up to a modified side plank. Once you're here in the side plank, really root down that bottom arm and lift that top leg so it's in line with your hip. Flex your right toes towards your shin. And that's going to be an inhale to lower the right foot back down and an exhale to lift it back up. So waking up that outer glutes, waking up the side body a little bit. Inhale to lower, exhale to lift. Keeping that right foot nice and active. Flex towards the shin. Inhale, lower. Exhale, lift. One more, just the same. And exhale, lift. Once that right foot comes down, keep it down. Root down to lift up. So you're in your modified warrior two. Take the right hand down the back thigh and reach up and over into a modified reverse warrior. Once you're reaching, open up your chest and gaze underneath that left armpit. So the chest starts to open up towards the ceiling. It will be an exhale to cartwheel the hands back down to the floor. Right hand lands back to quadruped and move back center. When you're ready, swivel the right foot off of your mat, lengthen out the left leg, sole of your left foot comes down, right hand glues down and reach up so you're in your modified side plank. Waking up the other side, flex your toes towards the shin, lift the leg up, hover in line with your hip, inhale, lower. Exhale, lift. Inhale, lower. Nice and slow, especially on that lift, so you can feel the activation of the outer glute. Inhale, lower. Exhale, lift. Inhale, lower. One more, just the same. Exhale. Inhale. Push down to lift up into your modified warrior two, really pushing down to the pinky toe side of that back foot. Reach the left hand down the back thigh, up and over we go, finding length from knee all the way up to your fingertips. And then open up your chest, gaze underneath the arm. And exhale, cartwheel the hands back down, landing into quadruped, walking your hands slightly forward, walking your knees slightly back, and shifting your weight down onto the floor. Once you land there, have your forearms land in front of you, elbows just in front of your shoulders. Really root the forearms down to spread the chest. And inhale, we'll bring the chin up towards the ceiling. And exhale, we'll drop the chin down towards the chest. Really let your head be heavy here and really push the floor away. So you're staying active for the shoulders. And then once you think you've got to the end range of your drop of your head, think about dropping the head even more, seeing if you have any extra space to let go. Inhale, gaze up towards the ceiling one more time, just like that. We're lingering in our chin drop just to see if we can create any bit of stretch and space in the back of the neck. And eventually moving back to center, we're going to reach our arms out in front of us and start to lift the right foot up and off the floor. Send the big toe mound back behind. With this nice active right leg, spin that inner thigh up towards the ceiling. Lift the left arm and have the left thumb up towards the sky. Trying to create extra bit of length from the tip of your toes all the way to your fingertips. Lift and hold. Drop the tailbone, embrace the belly so this doesn't linger in the low back. Stay for one more inhale. And then exhale, lower leg and hands. Lift the left leg. Think about pressing the big toe mound back behind you. Send your inner thigh up towards the ceiling. And then flip the right palm so it's facing in towards the midline and send your thumb up towards the sky. Lengthening rather than lifting. The lifting just happens because you're lengthening so much. Beautiful, and then lower down. Keep the tops of the feet glued for this first one. Lift the hands and the chest off of the floor. Keep your eyes facing towards the top of your mat to keep your neck in line with your spine. And then drive your elbows towards your ribs. This kind of 90-degree bend in the elbow, cactus-like arms. Hover the chest over the floor and then send your fingertips back behind you towards your toes. Chest is lifted, belly is braced. And then reach the arms back in front of you, chest is hovering. Send the elbows towards the ribs, hover over the floor, and send your fingertips back behind you like a torpedo. Inhale, reach. Exhale, bend the elbows to 90 degrees. Reach the fingertips back behind. You have one more just the same. Reach. Tops of feet are down, kneecaps are lifted. Fingertips back behind you. Start to lower one cheek down to the floor. Let your shoulders melt forward. Let your heels just kind of splay out to the side. Send some breath to that low back. And from here, lift the chest again. Reach the arms out in front and roll over onto your left side. Or it doesn't really matter which side you choose. Maybe the side that allows you to see me, whatever makes most sense. And then drag that bottom arm underneath your elbow or underneath your shoulder. You're gonna bend that bottom knee so it's in line with your top knee. So we'll end up in a modified side plank. You're gonna root down through that bottom arm so that we stay active to the shoulder. Push down to the outer edge of your top foot and the bottom knee to lift up to a half plank, side plank. From here, now you're active, you're strong, you feel powerful, hopefully. You're gonna lift that top leg in line with your hip. Lower the top leg down and then lower your hip down. Keep that top arm reaching. So it's a push up and lift up. Lift that top leg and hover. So we feel the lower half working. We feel the top half working. Lower that top leg down and lower the hip. Push down to lift up. Lift that top leg. Now we're going to maintain this position as we lower the top leg. Lift and lower 5 times. There's 1. Here's 2. And 3. Inhale, lower. And 4. And 5. Lift and hold. And then drop that leg down. Drop your hip down. Roll over onto your belly. Reach your arms up and overhead. And then roll over onto the other side. From there, pull the arm back underneath you. Elbow right underneath your shoulder. Remember to bend that bottom knee and plant the inside edge of that back foot. We root down to lift up, lift and hover and hold. Feel that strength. Check in that the elbow is right underneath your shoulder. Lift the top leg, flex the toes. Lower the leg down and drop the hip. Keep the arm reaching. Exhale, push the floor away. Lift that top leg. Lower the top leg and lower the hip. Push away to lift up. Lift and lengthen that top leg. And lower down. Last one keeps us up for a 5 count. Lift and hold. Lift and hold that top leg for 1. And lower. For 2. And lower. Feeling your whole side body working for you for 3. And lower. 2 more. 4. And lower. We have 1 more. And lower. Bring that hip down. Land onto your belly. Your elbows can land right underneath, or sorry, your elbows can land right above your wrists. Tops of feet down. Send your chest forward. Act as if you're driving the heels of your hands towards your toes to get a little bit more lift. Pull the ankles in towards the midline. So here we are in low cobra. And if all is going well, you'll plant your hands down and your feet down and lift up onto just your hands and feet into an up dog. Beautiful. Pull the ankles in towards the midline and exhale, hips move up and back to down dog. Taking a little bit of time to pedal the feet side to side, bending one knee then the other. Letting there be a little bit of exploration, just checking in with how you're feeling overall. And then check in with the position of your hands, really spreading through the entire hand, rooting down through every knuckle, especially pointer finger and thumb. Bend your knees as much as you need to send your chest closer to your thighs, creating more length through your spine. That's always the goal here. And then inhale, lift the right leg up. Send the heel up towards the ceiling. Keep your hips squared to the floor. Spin your inner thigh up and reach it even higher. And exhale, we'll send knee to chest, round the upper back and shoulders. Really push the floor away. Find this kind of cat-like quality through the spine. And then plant your right foot next to right thumb. It might take more than one step to get there, and that's okay. Drop the back knee down and inhale, reach up, stretch up. Exhale, hands come down through heart center. Hinging from the hips, take your left elbow over to the right thigh. Push palm to palm and open up your chest. If all is going well, you could tuck the back toes and lift the back knee. If you do that, promise me you'll really, really lift that kneecap and lengthen out that left leg. And then rotate any bit more. Pull the belly button in and up. And then from there, frame your foot and lift your hips up nice and high. Lengthen out your front leg best you can. Trying to keep length through your spine. If you'd rather have your hands on something else, definitely grab whatever you need. Breathing into that hamstring. And once you've had enough, bend back down into that front knee. Drop the back knee down. Place your hands on the inside of that right foot and start to heel toe the right foot out to the side. And turn your right toes out slightly. Let your left hip shift forward. You can even walk that left knee back a little bit if that's helpful. And then push the right hand into the right knee to open up. Gaze just beyond the right shoulder. You could always add some hip circles or swaying side to side, just being curious about the space that you have or would like to create. And then from there, Start to lengthen out that front leg. Shift your left hip back towards your left heel. And just lengthen and lift the chest. Press or point the toes and lift the toes. So point and flex. That'll just change the area of the stretch from the back to the front of the shin. And once you've had enough there, bend back down into that lunge. Plant your hands down underneath your shoulders. Tuck your back toes. Lift the back knee. Step back to your strong plank. Hold for an inhale. It's an exhale to push the hips up and back. Inhale, lift the left leg. Heel up, hips squared to the mat. Try to lift another half an inch before exhaling, sending the knee towards chest, round your back and shoulders, push the floor away, try to kiss your knee, and then plant the foot on the inside of the hand. Drop the back knee, untuck your back toes, reach the arms up. Hands come down through heart center, hinging at your hips, finding that nice brace of the belly. Rotate over to the left, your right elbow will latch onto your left thigh. Push palm to palm, and maybe the chest will center itself on the thumbs. If not today, maybe one day. And if all is going well, you can tuck the back toes and lift the back knee. Just if you're curious, really push down the big toe mat of that back foot. Keep that heel lifted, right leg active. One more inhale. And exhale, plant your hands down, lengthen out your front leg, and pull that left hip back as you send the right hip forward, keeping length through your spine. Trying to come back to a smooth, even breath. And once you've had enough there, bend back down into that front leg. Drop the back knee down. Walk your hands to the inside of that foot and start to shift the left foot over to the left side of your mat. Slightly off of the mat would be okay. As you turn your toes out, right hand stays down. Walk the right knee back a little bit. Let your hips shift forward and your left hand push left knee away. Open up your chest. Gazing just beyond your left shoulder. Stay as long as feels good here. When you're ready, you'll shift your weight back towards your heel. You can tuck the back toes, lengthen out that front leg. Keep your toes reaching up towards the ceiling to start. And then exhale, point the foot and flex. It's a point and a flex. And of course, you can stay here as long as feels good. When you're ready, walk yourself back to the nice long lunge. Plant the hands down, tuck the back toes, lift the back knees, step back to your plank. Hips move up and back to down dog. Start to tiptoe your way to the top of your mat. A bunch of tiny little steps to get there. Forward fold, feet can be about hip distance apart if you'd like. Bend your knees as much as you need to melt over the thighs. Staying nice and heavy. And maybe you take opposite hands, opposite elbows, sway side to side. And gradually roll yourself up so your head is the last thing to rise. Once you land in a standing posture, keep your shoulders stacked over your hips. Roll those shoulders up, back, and down. Drop your tailbone down. Reach your arms up and overhead. Your palms are facing forward. Your fingers are spread nice and wide. And lift up onto your toes. Once you're up onto your toes, start to drop your hips down towards your heels. Keep your heels lifted as much as you can. We're lowering down into a tiny little ball, but we're going to take the slowest way down. And then once you land, keep your heels lifted. Grab onto your legs. Drop your chin towards your chest. So again, you're creating length in the back of your neck. And then without any fear, because there's nothing to be afraid of. You're gonna roll back and land onto your back and then roll onto Navasana, boat pose. Nice. Squeeze the legs together. Pull the thighs towards the chest, nice proud chest. Stay for an inhale. And exhale, plant your hands down, plant the heels down, lift your hips up. Press down to lift up. Exhale, hips come down, legs come up. Pull the knees closer to the chest, stay for another inhale. And then exhale, drop the feet down, lengthen out your spine. You can walk your heels slightly further away from you if you'd like. You're gonna round through your spine, so find that C curve in your spine. Roll back, hip bones away from thigh bones, low back reaching towards the floor, and then open up your right arm over to the right. Exhale, come back to center. Open the left arm over to the left. Move back to center, lower down a half an inch, and come right back up. Open up to the right. Back to center, over to the left. Back to center, lower down a full inch or two, and come right back up. One more time in each direction. Exhale, back to center, over to the left. All the way back to center, start to roll back. This time we're gonna take it all the way down to the floor. With control, you're scooping through the pelvis, through the low belly, and land all the way to the floor. Palms can face up, heels can land just in front of the glutes. Drop your low back down, press down through the heels to lift up. Take the right knee in towards your chest and lengthen out that right leg. It's a flex to lower, leg in line with the left thigh. Point and lift. Flex and lower. Point and lift. Flex and lower. Point and lift. Bend the knee, plant the foot, root down to the right heel to lift the left knee towards the chest. Lengthen that leg, flex and lower. Point and lift. Flex and lower. Point and lift. Flex and lower. Point and lift. Bend the knee, plant the foot, one more on each side, a little bit of endurance work. This is kind of the grand finale, so embrace every moment. Point and lift. Flex and lower, make sure you're rooting down through that whole left foot. Point and lift. Flex and lower, last time we point lift. Bend the knee, plant the foot, root down through the right heel to lift that right glute. Bend the left knee, lengthen, flex and lower. Point and lift. Notice if you're clenching the toes on that right side. See if you could spread through the toes. Flex and lower. Point and lift. One more time. Flex and lower. Point and lift. Bend the knee. Start to melt the spine down to the floor. Take your feet the width of your mat. Drop the knees over to the left side. So it's internal rotation on the right side. It's external rotation on the left side. See if you can soften anywhere. Around the hip, the shoulders, the jaw, the toes. Knees come back through the center. Legs are still nice and wide. Drop the legs over to the right, so it's internal rotation of the left leg and external rotation of the right. And moving back to center. If there's anything else you'd like to take, maybe a happy baby, maybe a little glute bridge or more of a twist, now is your time. Taking about 5 or so breaths just to move in a way that feels good to you. Once you've found the final movements, then you'll start to make your way into your Shavasana, which can be traditional Shavasana with your legs long, or maybe more of a butterfly pose. or maybe you're on your side or on your belly. Once you've found a comfortable position, you can get the last minute scratches of the nose, shifting of your shirts, wiggling side to side. Take a nice big inhale in through your nose and eyes are closed. Exhale, sigh out through the mouth. One more time, just the same. Fill up. All the way up. And exhale, sigh out through the mouth. I encourage you to stay here in your Shavasana for as long as your body will allow. And hopefully I will see you next week. Namaste all. Take care.